There is an ancient Chinese proverb that doctors in the East have quoted for centuries. Aging begins in the legs. Think of your body like a mighty oak tree. It doesn't matter how green the leaves are or how strong the trunk appears. If the roots begin to rot, the tree will fall during the first storm. For humans, your legs are those roots. And while Western medicine obsesses over cholesterol and heart rate, a quiet revolution in longevity science has revealed a startling truth. The single most accurate predictor of how long you will live is the strength of your lower body. A groundbreaking study, published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine, analyzed over a decade of data and found something that shocked the medical community. Seniors with high muscle power in their legs didn't just have better balance. They lived an average of 11 years longer than those with weak legs. Let that sink in. 11 years. That is a decade of life, simply determined by the muscle fibers in your thighs and calves. Why? Because your leg muscles are not just for moving. They are the largest endocrine organs in your body. When they are strong, they act as a massive glucose sink, soaking up dangerous blood sugar and preventing diabetes. They pump blood back to the heart, preventing stroke. They release myokines, chemical messengers that travel to the brain and protect against Alzheimer's. Yet, look around. We live in a world designed to rot your roots. We sit in cars, we sit in chairs, we take elevators. We treat our legs like luggage instead of the engine of our survival. Most Americans over 60 have lost 30% of their leg muscle mass without even knowing it, a condition doctors call sarcopenia. But in the blue zone of Okinawa, Japan, elders in their 90s maintain legs of steel. They don't go to gyms. They don't lift heavy weights. They practice a specific set of 6 movements, ancient strengthening techniques, woven into their daily lives. These movements build the kind of deep, functional strength that prevents falls and extends life. You are about to discover these exact 6 movements, building from the smallest stabilizer muscles to the most powerful metabolic drivers. But I have to warn you about number 1. It is a movement borrowed directly from the training of sumo wrestlers. It looks strange to Western eyes, but geriatricians now admit it is the single most effective exercise for preventing the lateral falls that break hips and end lives. Before we begin, tell us in the comments now. Have you noticed your walking speed slowing down in recent years? That is the first sign of root decay. We're reading and replying to every single comment, so drop your answer below. Now, without further ado, let's replant your roots. Starting with number 6, the Shin Raise, or Sumasaki age. When we think of leg strength, we usually think of the calves on the back of the leg. But Japanese physical therapists argue that for seniors, the muscle on the front of the shin, the tibialis anterior, is actually more critical for survival. Why? Because of the shuffle. As we age, this shin muscle weakens, and we lose the ability to lift our toes properly when we walk. This leads to tripping over rugs, curbs, and uneven sidewalks. The tibialis is the anti-trip muscle. In the West, this muscle is almost completely ignored. In Japan, elders strengthen it religiously to ensure they can clear obstacles. A study from the University of Kyoto found that weakness in the tibialis anterior was the leading mechanical cause of falls in the elderly population. Sumasaki age is deceptively simple. Elders practice this while standing and leaning against a wall, or even while sitting watching television. The movement involves keeping the heels firmly planted and lifting the toes toward the shins as high as possible, holding for a second, and lowering. When done correctly, you feel a burning sensation on the front of your shin. This burn is the muscle fibers waking up from dormancy. By strengthening this specific area, you effectively oil the hinge of the ankle, ensuring that every step you take is a step, not a shuffle. It creates a clearance buffer between your toes and the ground, dramatically reducing the risk of a life-altering fall. Number 5. The second heart pump, or Nino Shinzo. You have a heart in your chest, but did you know you have a second heart in your legs? Your soleus muscles, the deep muscles inside your calves, are responsible for pumping venous blood from your feet back up to your lungs. As we age, these muscles tend to atrophy and stiffen. When this happens, blood pools in the lower extremities, leading to swelling, varicose veins, and a significantly higher risk of blood clots and deep vein thrombosis. Japanese longevity experts prioritize the Nino Shinzo not just for strength, but for cardiovascular protection. A 2021 study from the University of Houston discovered that activating the soleus muscle effectively doubled the rate of oxidative metabolism, improving blood sugar regulation for hours after the movement stopped. The movement is the humble calf raise, but performed with a specific cadence. Elders stand behind a chair for balance, rise slowly onto their tiptoes for a count of 3, hold the peak contraction where the muscle is shortest, and then lower for a count of 3. The magic is in the control. Bouncing up and down does little. The slow, deliberate rise forces the soleus to contract fully, squeezing the veins like a tube of toothpaste and shooting fresh oxygenated blood throughout the body. Many Japanese seniors perform this while washing dishes or waiting for the bus, integrating 30 to 50 repetitions throughout the day. It keeps the second heart beating just as strongly as the first. Before we continue, if you are enjoying this video, please hit that like button so more seniors can find these life-saving tips. And subscribe. We have more longevity pointers coming every day. Now, on to number 4, the iron chair hold, or kuki isu, literally, air chair. We often associate building muscle with movement, lifting, pushing, pulling, but research shows that for seniors, isometric exercise, creating tension without moving, is often safer and more effective for building bone density and lowering blood pressure. Kuki isu allows you to load the quadriceps, the massive muscles on the front of the thigh, without grinding the knee joint. Your quadriceps are your body's braking system. Every time you sit down, walk down stairs, or descend a hill, your quads prevent you from collapsing. When they are weak, you plop into chairs. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Hypertension found that isometric wall sits were remarkably effective at reducing resting blood pressure, even more effective than aerobic exercise for some participants. The sustained tension forces the blood vessels to dilate, improving arterial flexibility. To perform kuki isu, Japanese elders find a sturdy wall, lean their back against it, and slide down until their knees are slightly bent. They walk their feet out so their shins are vertical. They simply hold this position. They don't need to go deep to feel the effect. Even a shallow bend engages the quads. They hold for 30 to 60 seconds, breathing deeply. During this hold, the muscles are screaming for oxygen, which triggers a massive release of metabolic signals that tell the body to preserve muscle tissue. It turns the legs into steel pillars, capable of supporting the body's weight effortlessly, all while you are perfectly still. Number 3. The side kick, or yoko-jeri. This movement addresses the hidden weakness that lands more seniors in the hospital than any other: lateral instability. We spend our lives moving forward. We walk forward. We sit forward. As a result, the muscles on the side of our hips, specifically the gluteus medius, wither away. This is disastrous because the gluteus medius is the muscle that catches you when you slip on ice or lose your balance sideways. A weak gluteus medius is the primary cause of hip fractures. In Okinawan martial arts and daily longevity practices, lateral strength is non-negotiable. Yoko-geri is the practice of strengthening the outer hip to create a safety belt of muscle around the pelvis. The movement involves standing tall, holding a chair for support, and lifting one leg directly out to the side, keeping the toes pointed forward. It isn't a high kick, it is a controlled lift. The key is that the torso must remain upright. If you lean over to lift the leg, you miss the muscle. When done correctly, you feel a deep cramping sensation in the side of your hip. That is the gluteus medius waking up. Strengthening this muscle stabilizes the pelvis with every step you take. It prevents the waddling gait, often seen in older age. Researchers at the Mayo Clinic state that lateral hip strength is the single most important factor in preventing falls in the shower or kitchen. By doing this daily, you are essentially fall-proofing your body. Number 2, the art of rising, or tachiagari. This is not just an exercise, it is the ultimate test of independence. In Western medicine, the sit-to-stand test is the gold standard for predicting mortality. If you need to use your hands to push yourself out of a chair, statistics show your risk of all-cause mortality significantly increases. It signals that your power source, the glutes and quads, has failed. Japanese elders view the act of standing up not as a chore, but as a rep. Every time they sit down for tea, and every time they stand up, they treat it as a strengthening opportunity. They practice tachiagari to ensure they never lose this ability. This movement is functionally a squat, but performed with the safety of a chair behind you. The technique is precise. They scoot to the edge of the chair. They pull their feet back slightly underneath their knees. They hinge forward at the hips, nose over toes, and then drive through their heels to stand without using their hands. But here is the longevity technique. They sit back down slowly. Gravity wants you to drop. Tachiagari demands that you fight gravity. Taking 3 full seconds to lower yourself back into the chair stimulates muscle growth twice as effectively as the standing up part. This is called eccentric loading. By performing this 10 to 15 times a day, perhaps during commercial breaks or before meals, you turn a sedentary habit, sitting, into a muscle-building machine. You ensure that you will never be the person stuck in a chair waiting for help. You maintain the power to move your own body through space. And now, the most powerful leg movement of all, the technique that adds years to life by building a fortress of stability. Number 1, the Sumo Stomp, or Shiko. You might wonder, why would we look to sumo wrestlers for health advice? While they carry excess weight, underneath that, they possess the strongest, most flexible legs in the world. They rarely suffer from knee or hip replacements despite their mass. Their life hack is Shiko. Shiko is unique because it targets the inner corset of the legs, the adductors, inner thighs, and the pelvic floor, while simultaneously challenging balance and core strength. Western exercises almost completely ignore the inner thighs, yet these muscles are critical for stabilizing the knee joint and preventing the legs from collapsing inward. A study published in the Archives of Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation found that seniors who performed sumo-style squat movements improved their balance scores by 45% and significantly increased bone density in the femoral neck, the exact spot where hips usually break. The movement starts in a wide stance, feet wider than shoulders, toes pointed out at 45 degrees. The elder sinks the hips down, keeping the chest proud. This wide position opens the hips. Then, they shift their weight to the left leg. Lift the right foot just an inch or two off the ground. Sumo wrestlers lift it high, for a split second to stabilize, and then stomp it back down firmly. That stomp is crucial. The impact sends a vibration through the skeleton that stimulates osteoblasts to build new bone. Shiko is a total lower body reset. It strengthens the glutes, the quads, the inner thighs, and the core all at once. It requires focus, balance, and power. Japanese centenarians who practice this daily maintain a root system that is virtually unbreakable. They walk with confidence. They navigate stairs with ease. They possess the stronger legs that the British Journal of Sports Medicine confirmed leads to a longer life. The choice is stark. You can accept the Western narrative that legs naturally get weak and brittle with age, leading to canes, walkers, and eventually immobility. Or you can look to the wisdom of the East and recognize that your legs are living tissue, capable of regeneration at any age. These 6 movements, the Shin Raise, the second heart pump, the iron chair, the side kick, the art of rising, and the mighty Sumo Stomp, are your tools for replanting your roots. They do not require a gym membership. They do not require fancy shoes. They require only your consistency and your desire to live a life of independence. By dedicating just 10 minutes a day to strengthening your roots, you are doing more than just building muscle. You are building a reservoir of health that will protect you from falls, diabetes, and cognitive decline. You are claiming those 11 extra years of life that nature has offered you. Now, we want to hear from you. Which of these movements feels like the biggest challenge for you right now? Is it the balance of the Sumo Stomp? Or the strength of the chair hold? And are you committed to trying these movements for the next week? Tell us in the comments below. We love hearing your stories of strength. If you found this video helpful, please share it with a friend or family member. Don't let the people you love lose their independence. Help them stand strong. Hit that like button, subscribe for more senior health pointers, and remember, keep your roots deep, stay strong, and I'll see you in the next video.